Are you putting off making a CV, not sure where to start or how to set it out? Maybe you haven't even had a job yet, so you're not sure what to include. Worry no longer. Here are some tips on how to get started on making your very own CV. CV stands for Curriculum Vitae and is Latin for the course of your life. Basically, a CV is a story about you, your work, your study, your life, with a few other details added in. A CV or curriculum vitae is a paper version of you that you present to a prospective employer in the hope of getting a job. Firstly, a CV should be maximum 2 pages, a quick glance at your life, not a 5,000 word essay. Employers are busy people, so leave out the waffle and get straight to the important points. If you want to include a photo, whatever you do, don't use a selfie, ever. I know you were feeling proud of that excellence you got in English, but on your CV, only list your overall achievements from school or university, not your individual subject grades. For example, if you have just graduated from high school, you would list NCEA Level 3, as this is your highest education. It's super important to get your CV checked before you send it away, especially for spelling and grammar. Now, here are some important details to include in your CV. Always start your CV with a header that includes all your personal and contact information. Double check you have the correct phone number and email so employers can contact you for an interview. Then list your qualifications from school, university, UCOL, or any other courses you might have done. Remember to include things like your driver's license or first aid qualifications too. Since you might just be starting out in the working world, it's important to list all kinds of work you have tried so far. Even if it's just babysitting for Auntie Joe or carving with Uncle Fred, it all matters. Have you ever won an award for something you made or did? Include that in your CV. Did you win the speech competition at Pacifica Fusion? Mention that too. These achievements can paint a picture of what you are capable of in the workplace. Personal attributes. Think of a few words that best describe you. Don't feel shy to list your strengths or attributes or characteristics. It's not boasting, it's just a fact about who you are, easygoing or organized or friendly or whatever. Again, it helps the employer understand what you'll be like to work with. What do you like to do outside of school or work? It could be a sport or volunteering or painting or hiking. It's another aspect of you as a person. How cool would it be if the person interviewing you was a surfer and so were you? Great way to make a connection. Extracurricular also shows employers that you can keep a good work-life balance. Choose 2 people to be your referees or references. These are people who the employer will call to find out a bit more about you. Remember to give them a heads up before you put their names and contact details on your CV. What's a referee, I hear you say? It's not a whistleblowing kind. A referee is just someone who knows you well. It could be a teacher, a boss, or a coach. You choose. Each time you apply for a different job, it pays to update your CV. Depending on what type of job you apply for, influences what you might want to emphasize or change in your CV. For instance, the skills you might highlight for one job might not be the same for a different job. Even though you possess all these skills at once, some are not relevant to a particular job. For example, being fit is not necessary for an office job, but it is important if you're doing physical labor every day. The same goes for your experience and qualifications. You may wish to emphasize your ability to type fast when applying for a secretary job or emphasize you did a gateway building course if you're applying to be an apprenticeship. But then again, your experience working at placemakers could help with both. Once you have completed your CV and proofread everything, print it out with pride, say a prayer, and send it off with your cover letter. But what happens next? Well, while you wait, there are things you can do. Firstly, let's address the issue of your hilarious, edgy voicemail message. When an employer calls you back after receiving your excellent CV, you want an excellent voicemail message. Something professional and friendly, so change your voicemail, people. In the days after sending in your CV, if you see that you have missed a call from an unknown or new number, remember this could be someone wanting to interview you. So always call back and confirm that you are still interested in the job. If you haven't heard from anyone after 1 or 2 weeks, it's okay to call them. Say something like, "Hi, it's John Smith calling. I'm just checking that you received my CV for that barista job." If they didn't receive it, then you can resend it. If they did get your CV, then they may have some news for you. Calling them shows that you are keen, and it also helps to put your mind at rest. If you didn't get the job, don't take it to heart. Sometimes hundreds of people apply for one job, so keep smiling and keep applying. You'll get there. When you do get the call you've been waiting for and they ask you for an interview, you get the chance to represent yourself in person to an employer. Here are some important tips for your big interview. First impressions count, so try to present yourself for the job you want. While you sit in the reception area, don't sit on your phone. If you have never been judged before, the receptionist will totally be checking you out as soon as you walk through the door. Hold yourself well, and remember, everyone gets nervous, so keep breathing. Throw away those notes and be in the moment. It pays to think about your body language. Are you slouching? Could you relax your face into a smile? Even though your knees might be knocking or your hands trembling, go in for the handshake. Make good eye contact. Make those positive connections. Because, believe it or not, having the right attitude and being open and honest are more important to an employer than your skills. When you put yourself out there in the big, wide world of jobs and careers, remember this: God made you for a purpose. Go find your place in this world. You got this.